Am I the asshole for telling my brother his 3-foot-long beard and hair is unprofessional? I work at a company in a position with some influence. My brother was looking for a job and I encouraged him to apply at my company. I wasn't a part of the process, but thankfully he was offered the position. The interview was conducted over a video call, so I know that the interview panel don't really have a clear idea of how long my brother's hair and beard really is. Both his beard and hair are around waist level, and are not particularly well kept. Most people who see it would likely assume he is homeless or in a cult. He has looked like this for a couple years and everyone we know aside from him and his wife think it's unattractive and creepy. This is an office professional workplace, and a position that involves frequent interactions with the general public. The handbook doesn't specifically state exact hair or beard lengths, but it does say appearance should be neat and professional. So I told him and his wife that while he doesn't need to entirely cut off his beard or hair, he does need to trim at least a little off. Well, his wife is absolutely outraged I dare even ask such a thing. She compared it to asking a fat person to lose weight, to ask a Muslim to cut his beard, which I don't think is actually a part of Islam, but whatever, forcing a trans person to wear clothes that does not match their gender identity, etc. She says if a 12-inch beard is okay, why isn't a 3-foot-long beard? I reply, the recipe says a teaspoon of salt, so of course 5 cups of salt is okay. She accused me of pretending it is company policy when it's actually about my personal disagreement with his appearance. While it's true that I have been open about how awful his beard appears, it's also true that the company does have a policy about appearing professional. And having a 3-foot-long untamed, thin, dry, crispy beard is hard to justify as professional. On the one hand, my sister-in-law claims this is a part of his identity and reflects his self-image, and on the other hand my brother claims he appears this way because he does not care about his appearance. I'm more inclined to believe him than her. I tried to explain that he could cut half his beard off and he'd still have an extremely long beard that matches his identity. But she's still absolutely offended. To be honest, I think she cares more about proving a point than what's actually best for my brother's health. She said if he shit in his pants she wouldn't make him change his clothes if he didn't want to. I do believe she sincerely loves him, but I think this is a form of abuse. Am I the asshole for honestly telling him his appearance is too unprofessional for his new job? Not the asshole. I could see him keeping it if it was well kept, but you say it isn't. Also, since it's a customer-facing job, you do need to look professional. Unfortunately, a lot of customers wouldn't find a 3-foot beard and long hair to fit that part. I would let his manager handle telling him though. I mean, not well kept can be subjective. While a beard and hair that long is certainly unusual, it's not necessarily unkempt simply because it's long. Are we talking Gandalf long and bushy but otherwise neat enough here, or Rasputin long, stringy, greasy? That being said, I concur with the others. Just stay out of it for now, OP. It's not your concern and your brother certainly isn't about to listen to you on this. Google search says in Islam according to Sunnah Muhammad's way of life men can trim facial hair but not cut the beard. Info: are you worried this will reflect poorly on you? If so, why would you tell him to apply without discussing this first? Just wait until your brother tries to blame you when he gets fired or told to trim his beard when he shows up for his first day of work. Not the asshole. You are giving professional advice, not direct criticism. If he's not taking care of his beard and or hair, then, no, you're not the asshole. But you're not going to convince them of that. Let his boss do it. I mean, he got the job fair and square with the hair and beard. If when he starts the job the company want him to tidy it up, then let them tell him. I think it's sad you are embarrassed about your brother. Leave him be. You're the asshole. Why are you arguing with your SIL over this? Just talk to him and refuse to argue with her. Unless you will be his direct manager, you're the asshole. He's been hired. If HR or his own manager has an issues with his appearance, it's for them to raise UT. You could reasonably have told him THST he may be asked to tidy his hair and beard but should have left it at that. Not the asshole. You said what you thought, you know the workplace. You were not involved in the hiring process, so it shouldn't reflect badly on should have had a second, in-person, interview if they worry about this stuff. If they do worry about it and think he doesn't fit in, he won't get past his probationary period. Not the asshole. You've given him the heads up with good intentions. Now he can find out for himself whether you are right or biased. Your job as advisor is done. Hope his job won't also be. Not the asshole. Let your brother know your concerns and never mention it again. You can do your best to provide guidance and then let him make the adult decision. Not the asshole. This is your workplace and you know presumably have a good idea what they'll think of his appearance. As a guy who once had waist-length hair and kept it clean, brushes, and always in a ponytail or braided for work, I think you'll have to let him try and see. Fortunately, you're not his supervisor. His wife's response and comparisons was a bit absurd, too. I'm not making a judgment here because I don't think anyone here is particularly an AH. You're trying to help him secure employment. Next time, don't say anything. Let his manager do it. They may very well release him during the probationary period by saying it's not a good fit, but in reality it's because of how unruly his appearance is. You're the asshole. If you thought it was an issue, you shouldn't have told him to apply. Now instead of being the guy who they come to when they complain about hours demands, you'll be the guy they blame as having something to do with HR saying those things. Way to go. Good luck. You're the asshole. This isn't 1955. Grow up. You come off as very pretentious, just saying. You weren't involved in the hiring process at all, so obviously the people who were involved didn't see a huge problem. And they may not have been able to see the full length of the beard or hair through the video call, but they can get a rough idea. If they have an issue with his appearance, they'll sort it out. It's not up to you. You're the asshole. Not the asshole. You're looking out for him. You're the asshole. His appearance is between him and his boss. You need to worry about you and leave them alone. You don't get to run their lives. This post is unprofessional. Mind YA businesses. That's a tough one. Not saying you're the asshole, though mentioning it before encouraging him to apply would have been the better opportunity to raise the concern. Definitely not the asshole. Not the asshole. You gave your opinion on what is and isn't professional, and I think your view is pretty mainstream, so is likely to find his managers and at least some customer agree. He doesn't have to take your advice, but it's useful to know. A form of abuse. Really? I rolled so hard at that bit I think my retina's detached. You're the asshole. It truly does not matter what you think of his appearance, at work or at home. Please stop throwing around the word abuses to try and add weight to your opinion. It's insulting to people suffering actual abuses. OP got beard envy. You're the asshole. The conflict clearly isn't about looking professional. If it was, someone involved in the hiring process would have said something to him. You just want him to live his life your way, for whatever reason. It's almost 2024 and we are still buying this looks unprofessional crap. You're the asshole just for the way you talk about your brother. He's creepy and looks like he's in a cult because of his choice in hair. Your way of thinking makes you an asshole above any of your actions here, honestly. Hilarious part here is you've opened yourself up to your brother filing a complaint with the company about you. AITA, no one cares what you think about your brother's beard. You sound like you think finally, now is my moment, I can debeard him. You have no business talking about his presentation, focus on how you look. If his work has an issue with him, he will be communicated with in a professional, appropriate manner and environment. You may want to start watching what you say. You work together. HR can now be involved.